Hi, my name is Peyton Hopkins, and today I will be talking about typhoid fever for my Outbreak presentation, more specifically in 1906 to 1907, and highlighting on the case of Typhoid Mary. There were several observations and important things that came out of this outbreak that I would like to hint on just real quick. It could be seen that typhoid, which causes symptoms from fever to severe abdominal pain and rashes on the trunk of the body, caused widespread fear and panic within the 19th and 20th centuries. However, it was very prevalent in growing and underdeveloped cities such as New York, whose sanitation couldn't match up with the massive population growth that it had been seeing. In this time period, a reported 639 people had died of typhoid in New York. But one particular case, the Typhoid Mary case, is the one that is most prevalent. Her case really highlights the importance of proper hygiene, safe water, food safety, and sanitization. And, unfortunately, it is still a risk today, with the CDC saying it is a nationally notifiable disease in the United States. Because of this prevalence, a lot has been done to study and research the cause and etiological factors of typhoid fever. Early studies are to include Carl Eberth in 1880, George Gaffke in 1884, and Robert Koch in 1884 as well. Robert Koch did not have a direct influence on the identifying of typhoid. However, his postulates led to some amazing discoveries, as well as identifying other means of transmission, such as water, led to the ultimate discovery of typhoid fever. Carl Eberth in 1880 was the one who was responsible for identifying the causative agent of typhoid, which is now known as Salmonella typhi. Through that work, and the evidence that he was able to bring up, George Gaffke in 1884 was able to produce a pure, isolated culture of S. typhi, furthering compelling evidence that S. typhi was indeed the causative agent of typhoid fever. And there were several important things to be learned from the outbreak, more specifically with Typhoid Mary in 1906. This outbreak identified several very important findings in regards to how diseases are transmitted. These are to include asymptomatic carriers, other means of transmission other than the miasma that they believed, and the importance of hygiene. It could be seen during Typhoid Mary's case that she was an asymptomatic carrier. She was unaware that she was infected and was still able to transmit disease, which was not a belief during that time. She was able to infect at least 51 people, and it marked her in history as a super spreader. And then that comes to the other means of transmission. It was believed that miasma was the only way to get sick, and that includes getting sick from people who are sick as well. With that notion already being challenged, it was discovered that typhoid, S. typhi, could travel through water as well as the oral fecal route, which is how Typhoid Mary was infecting others. And this leads to the importance of hygiene, since it is able to transmit through the oral fecal route. It must be said that hygiene is of utmost importance. Washing hands after using the restroom, cooking food properly to the right temperature is all very, very important today. And we, of course, all know that now. And then we come to the current status. Unfortunately, typhoid fever, S. typhi, is still around and prevalent in many underdeveloped countries or countries who have been hit by natural disasters. Traveling is still an issue for those who travel out of the country and into those who might still have typhoid fever. They risk bringing it back to other places and furthering the spread of infection. In 2009, it could be seen that typhoid was becoming antibiotic resistance. Which leads to the furthering question. Is there a possibility for more outbreaks? From what I have seen, yes. Salmonella typhi is still around, and with antibiotic resistance on the rise, coupled with traveling, I fear that there may be small outbreaks that are possible still, and potentially even larger ones if it becomes even more antibiotic resistant. Travelers who pick it up and bring it to other places might unknowingly be spreading it around, just as Typhoid Mary did. Hopefully it never comes to that, and we are able to find a way to challenge the antibiotic resistance. But it is still a possibility. Thank you for listening. I appreciate your time, and that was my presentation on typhoid fever. Thank you.